What is up, guys? I am the Six Machine, and an FAQ dropped today. Not a big FAQ, but an FAQ. In fact, a couple dropped. One for Codex Space Marines, which we are going to cover in this video, and another one dropped for Codex Necrons, the two latest 9th edition codex. In fact, the two first 9th edition codexes, but also the latest. So technically that did make sense. Another few other bits and bobs dropped as well. There was a little bit of a change to the Black Templars Index Astartes, and a few other ones got updated as well. The Dark Angels, for example, got a slight change which allowed their Talon Masters to take relics, even though they are vehicles. No change to Inner Circle. Thank God for that. I know a lot of people were worried, or if you weren't a Dark Angel player, were hoping for a change, but it doesn't look as though Inner Circle has been changed. It looks like Games Workshop are happy with it for now. But anyway, Codex Space Marines, FAQ. It's not a big one, so I don't think this is going to be a long video, but let's take a look at it and see what changes there are, and possibly more importantly, what changes there aren't. So first of all, in the designer's note, they do state that Psychic Awakening Faith and Fury is now no longer in play. It is defunct. The rules content in Codex Space Marines replaces the Adeptus Astartes content found in Psychic Awakening Faith and Fury. As such, the rules for chapter litanies and Masters of the Chapter can no longer be used. Note that the Black Templars rules found in Psychic Awakening are likewise replaced by the rules found in the Index Astartes, which we will take a look at in just a little minute. But that is a expected change. They've kind of been pushing towards that with 9th edition coming out, which is, it's slightly annoying that the Psychic Awakening books came out just when sort of everything went to hell in the real world, so people didn't get to use them as much. I know my friend who got the Saga of the Beast one did not play a single game with it before the things changed and everything got updated with 9th edition and the new Codex Space Marines, but that's the way it is, unfortunately. It's gone. Faith and Fury is gone. Next, there is a couple of updates and erratas. So the first one is the Heavy Intercessor Squad, which if you have the Codex, you will know the rules for the weapons or the weapon options. Didn't quite make sense because they didn't match what you could take, so you literally couldn't take the weapons that it stated in the Codex, so they've just clarified the wording on that. Heavy Bolt Rifle can be replaced with a Heavy Bolter. I think that one was actually correct in the Codex, but the Hellstorm Bolt Rifle can now be replaced with a Hellstorm Heavy Bolter, and the Executioner Bolt Rifle can be replaced with an Executioner Executor Heavy Bolter. So that's just to make sure that when the models do come out, which is hopefully soon because they look awesome, you can actually take the weapons that they come with, and people don't say, well, that's not actually the name of the weapon in the Codex, so you can't technically take that, because that would just be stupid. Next up, the Primaris Apothecary got its Primaris Apothecary keyword changed to Primaris and Apothecary, which is good because you need the Apothecary keyword to do the healing and the bringing back model kind of stuff. So Primaris Apothecary, again, technically wouldn't let Primaris Apothecaries do that. So that's just a bit of an update to get the writing all squared away and avoid any discrepancies and fighting between that guy players. I joke, I mean, it is annoying that that's the kind of thing people would do, but it is good that they're getting the things like really tightened up and trying to get the wording as accurate and correct, so that there isn't these kind of discrepancies, because that is important for a book. Next up is a specific change for the Blood Angels or their successors. The Assault Squad can now take melter guns or plasma guns for 10 points each. So I think at the moment other chapters can just take flamers. 2 Assault Marines can take flamers. So the Blood Angels get a few extra options there, which is nice for them. Blood Angels love their assault squads. I'm still not entirely sure it will make assault squads see the table all that much, but if you already have loads of assault squads modelled up with melter guns, then you're probably going to be happy about this, because it means that the models you have are now WYSIWYG, which some people, care about a lot, and, rightly so. It's annoying when Games Workshop do things that take away options that were previously viable, so people have to, rip arms off their models and that sort of thing. So I'm glad that they did this. Even if it won't make a big change in terms of what people tend to take, it's nice that they've done it. Next up is another biggie, the points values for the chapter command. They have clarified which one you're meant to take, because in the Codex there are 2 tables with 2 varying points costs, at two separate places in the codex, so people saw it and were like, well, which one do we use? They've now clarified it's the ones that you can see on the screen now. So your Chapter Master is 40 points, Chief Librarian 25 points, Master of Sanctity 25 points. These values match the ones found in the chapter command rules on page 98, so if you were using those ones already, you don't have to change anything. If you were using the other ones, I can't remember what page they were on, but you will have to use these ones, which is actually good because these are the cheaper point values. And that is actually all of the changes in the errata. So as I said, nothing much really. The biggest things to take from this is that this is clearly not a super rebalancing errata FAQ, because nothing has been done with the eradicators. I don't know if I would expect them to change the points really, because they don't tend to do that all that often, although they have started to move towards it, but they never used to really do like point upgrades in FAQs. But people were kind of expecting that the eradicators would get some kind of nerf or a change in some way that would make them a little less obnoxious, but it doesn't look like that is coming just yet. So if you are still facing lots of eradicators, I apologize. You will still be facing lots of eradicators for a little while yet. The other big thing, which I'll be honest, when I saw Primaris Apothecary, I thought, ooh, they're changing it. Doesn't seem like they were, is that apothecaries can still revive a full 8-wound multi-milter wielding ATV, which is weird. I don't quite get it, especially since they were changing the Primaris Apothecary's keywords. They could have just thought, you know what, maybe we'll give vehicle to the ATV. Considering it explodes anyway, vehicle makes sense, and that would stop the shenanigans of being able to res it, or at least make it so the apothecaries res and heal, you know, couldn't target models which had over, you know, 6 wounds or something like that. But as it stands at the moment, you can still resurrect your ATVs with your apothecary. It is completely stupid, but there you go. You can still do that. It's an obnoxious combo, and it's probably one of the best things in the Space Marine Codex at the moment. And you can still do it. I'm guessing that it will get changed at some point, but I think people were hoping it would be done by now. The Codex has been out for, I mean, not a huge amount of time, but long enough for them to kind of notice that mistake. The fact that it doesn't have the vehicle keyword, I think must have been a mistake. I think that's probably how they're going to change it, but I just feel like it was clearly meant to have that, and I don't know why they didn't update it in here. But there you go, that is the Codex Space Marines Errata /FAQ. The only other thing that is worth mentioning in this video, because it's to do with Space Marines, is the Black Templars. They had their Index Astartes, and a lot of people were a little bit miffed that they appeared to lose their Super Doctrine, which didn't really make much sense. So they've got it back now. The Knights of Sigismund, whilst the Assault Doctrine is active, when resolving an attack made with a melee weapon by a Black Templars model with this ability against a unit that is not a vehicle in a turn in which that model made a charge move or performed a heroic intervention, an unmodified hit roll of 6 automatically scores a hit and successfully wounds the target. A lot of hoops to jump through, to be fair, but you've got it back, which is nice for you Black Templar players. You get to feel your fighting Knights of Sigismund back, even if it isn't the best Super Doctrine in the world. It's a nice little buff for you. Better than nothing, I suppose. It's definitely one of the weaker Super Doctrines, but it's fairly fluffy, I think. And it's cool, you know, I'm glad you've got it back. I don't think there was any other big changes in the Black Templars little errata, but do let me know if there are any. I haven't gone through the whole thing. I don't play Black Templars, but I think that was pretty much the biggest thing that they got was their Super Doctrine back. So that's it. That is the FAQ and erratas for the Codex Space Marines. I don't know the Necrons well, so I may do a video on that, but I just wanted to go through what we saw in the Codex Space Marines errata and go over the little things that change, and also point out the fact that if you're hoping that it will have redressed the few, you know, there's not many, to be fair. The balance of the Codex Space Marines book I think is generally pretty good, but the few things that were still a bit obnoxious, the Eradicators and the ATV Apothecary combo, they have not been fixed just yet, but I have no doubt that they will. So that's it. That is the Codex Space Marines FAQ errata video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything else that you would like to see them change, or anything that I may have missed in the Black Templars little errata. But until next time, I will catch you later, guys.